Are we rolling?
Are we? We are rolling, right?
We are rolling.
Yeah? Cool. We're rolling.
It's that Yunk Life Pod. It's that Yunk Life Pod. That Yunk Life Pod. That Yunk Life Pod. That Yunk Life Pod. Living that Yunk Life, baby.
Welcome to the Yunk Life, guys. We're back and crazy as ever.
Yes, we are. I need to learn how to just let you finish talking before I start talking.
I mean, that's kind of a theme in our friendship
Yes.
and your relationship.
With who?
Your girlfriend.
Oh, yeah. Do I do that a lot?
Oh, yeah.
Do I interrupt a lot of people?
Yeah, but it's only because your thoughts move faster than the rest of it. It's our fault for not being as smart as you.
Oh, yeah. I am pretty smart, aren't I?
Yeah, but how smart are you when it comes to sports? Because
Because
that's what we're talking
Yeah,
about.
well,
We're
there's a
talking
lot-
about sports today.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of history with me in sports because I was never into sports when I was a kid. Never.
But are you now?
Yes, for
I
a
mean,
very good reason,
You're
obviously.
presently wearing 4 different kinds of hats
Am
for
I?
different sports.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that why my
I mean,
neck
I
feels
would.
so strange?
I think it counts as a Philly tuxedo.
Oh, yeah. So the Philly tuxedo.
You want to
This is-
explain?
Well, should I
Go for it.
should I
yeah.
explain what a Philly tuxedo
Please
is?
do.
I am Philly tuxedo incarnate right here. I am where. Well, I thought a Philly tuxedo was like
All the teams.
yeah. So all the teams, but how does it work? Is it hat, jersey, shorts, socks? Like it has to be visible,
I
though,
don't
right?
think it's got any specific item. I think as long as you have all 4 represented in an item of clothing.
But am I the first person to wear 4 hats of all 4 teams?
You're the first I've seen.
Really?
Yeah. Presently, we've got Kelly Green Eagles, Flyers, Sixers, Phillies, right? Then we
Yep.
got an Eagles jersey,
Mhm.
and we got some serious Phillies bling going on. I'd call it a tuxedo, bro.
I should dress like this every day.
You go for it.
Although I'd be very, very sweaty
Yeah,
because I'm wearing a lot of layers right now.
I'm doing good. I'm rocking the
I
basketball.
know, yeah. You got your
the old
tats out and
school-
everything.
I'm rocking the old school Spectrum Iverson jersey, the flashback jerseys.
You look like a member of the B-52s.
I like that. I'm into that.
Were the B-52s from Philly?
No, they're
Oh.
from Atlanta. But
Oh.
also, I don't think they were into basketball.
Really?
Technically Athens,
Not
but
really
no,
into
they're
basketball.
famously not from Philly.
Yeah, not from Philly.
Athens.
thank you, I do
Like
ta-
Greece?
Athens,
No,
Georgia.
Oh.
I do
There's
take
2
that as a
Athens in the
compliment, though.
world.
I figure there's probably another one. There's an Athens, Texas as well, I know.
There's a... right. Do you know that guy, Joe Lycett?
Yeah.
He's like got a TV show coming out. Hi, Joe Lycett. Sponsor us. You can't, but whatever. He goes to there's like 13 different Birminghams or Birmingham in the US alone. Is that right?
Yes,
Probably,
the most
yeah.
famous is in Alabama.
Yeah.
Alabama Slammer. I don't know what that is, but
We are not talking about sports.
We're
we're
are
not
we?
talking about sports. Okay, right. We're going
So,
off piste here.
Obviously,
so,
you didn't
Yeah.
play sports when you
No,
were a kid, did you?
No, absolutely.
Like even in school?
Well, no, I did, but I wasn't very good.
Okay.
I think the first sport I was okay at, is it considered a sport? Swimming. I
Yeah,
was
that
really good
counts.
at swimming
Okay.
until they made me dive into a pool with clothes on.
Who was your coach, man?
Well, we didn't have like a singular coach. I think when I was in high school,
That guy didn't even work for your school.
it was quite strange. I didn't understand why they were teaching us this kind of stuff. You can laugh out loud, dude.
I can. I just taken a sip
I just saw him covering his mouth. I'm just like,
I just taken a sip of my Coke. Which that's yeah.
you were trying not to spit the Coke everywhere.
That is correct.
All right, fair enough. Right, well, I'll try not to make you laugh from this day
Well,
forward.
please do.
But you had like a school swimming team?
Well, yeah, I think every school kind of did, but I wasn't like part.
See, that is not the case in America.
Well,
I
I
assure
wasn't
you we did not.
like we had to take swimming lessons. We had to do like physical education lessons, PE
Yeah, we had
lessons or whatever.
we had phys ed.
and we kind of did a bit of everything. I really liked swimming, but I think that was by default because my dad was a really good swimmer.
Okay.
It was like a really good gene he passed on to me, and I was fudging well good at it. You see what I did there?
Well done.
Yeah, I'm learning not to swear.
Maybe we should give Gaz a prize every time he doesn't swear.
What?
But then again, I want a prize too.
Young Bucks.
Yeah, Young Bucks.
Yeah,
I
we
want a
give you
Young Buck. So it's wait, the more I swear, or the more I cover up
less
my,
you swear.
the less I swear. Well, that's pretty much.
Every time you
That's
don't
every
swear,
episode of the podcast.
I'm going to give you a prize.
Oh, okay. But what if I find a different word to replace with the swearing?
That doesn't count as swearing.
Well, fudging is a pretty good one.
Exactly. I'm giving you credit, bro.
So I get a Young Buck.
Yes, you get a Young Buck.
Yes, my first Young Buck. What does that get me?
Nothing yet.
Nothing yet.
Keep trying,
Okay,
baby.
right. So I used to fudging swim so fudging well. Okay. No, I was pretty good. Like when it was just the normal stuff.
But you didn't answer my question. Like for a team for the school?
No.
Or just in
No,
school?
literally, it was just swimming lessons. I think at one point we did do like a competition between all the local schools.
Okay.
I don't think I won anything. I don't have any medals or trophies like on the mantelpiece.
Yeah.
I don't have one of those things where, the parents take me and it's like going, look how amazing you are. I think I just swam my ass off and got tired eventually. But yeah, swimming I was really good at. But then I do remember they were just like saying, right, we're going to do a day where you're going to just jump in the pool with all your clothes on and you're going to learn how to tread water. And I'm just like, what?
I mean, it is a good survival technique.
That is a good
Well,
survival
exactly.
skill.
Surviving. I mean, when are you ever going to fall into a giant swimming pool with clothes on? They don't even let you into the swimming pool with clothes on.
I should probably point out that you live on an island. You might want to know how to swim with your clothes on, just in case.
Okay.
So it is a good life skill they give you there.
Did not work. I was scared of swimming after that. I almost drowned once in Australia.
I'm glad you didn't.
Yeah. And it wasn't because I was wearing all my clothes. It was just because I swam out too far. And
Yeah.
it was nighttime.
My sister gets really nervous when I go to the beach alone because I will keep swimming. She actually has said to me, don't do that thing where you go past the barriers. And I'm like, I'll be fine.
They put barriers up?
Yeah, there's like a spot where it's dangerous beyond that on
Like
the
at
beach.
beaches. Like if
Yeah.
you're at a public beach or
At a
whatever.
public beach, yeah. There's like a spot that you're not supposed to swim beyond.
I've never seen a barrier swimming in the
And if he did,
in
he
the
would go
sea
past
of
it.
England. I think they just kind of hope that you keep swimming.
Wait a
It's
minute.
like
I've tried to get you to come to the sea with me many times, and you self-proclaimed hate going to the sea.
no, I don't.
You say it
I
every
love
time.
the sea.
But you are outside for 1 minute, and then you're hot pink,
Yeah, because
and then you bitch for the rest of the day.
I don't like the sun. The sun doesn't like me.
But the sun,
sun
and the
is
sea,
dangerous.
so you like to go to the sea on a cloudy day.
I
This
think
is completely off topic. Can we get back to sports, please?
right. Okay, it doesn't matter if it's off topic, but I'm just to settle that argument.
I'm going to hold you to it, and I'm bringing you to the beach every day this summer.
I wouldn't say I like going to the beach and just like lying there getting burned.
Oh, I do.
I know you do, but I don't like that because
You're
typically
from England.
beaches in England are just full of pebbles and glass.
Not always.
Really?
No,
one,
there's
like,
sand
in West
beaches.
Whistering that's like it's completely sand.
West Wintering, Broadstairs, there's lots.
Oh, okay.
We'll talk about that on the next episode that we
yes,
talk about.
okay, the next episode.
summer.
Right. Yes, we'll go. Stop going off topic, everybody.
So I didn't play sports either, obviously.
Right, okay.
I was quite the nerd.
Mhm.
But I did win a championship medal,
For what?
marching band.
That's a sport?
Technically, I got a varsity letter and a medal.
No way.
And I got to watch every single football game every Friday night from the stands.
Okay, right. What the hell does varsity mean?
Varsity is the highest you can go. There's like junior varsity. There's Pee-wee for kids, and then junior
They actually
varsity.
call it Pee-wee?
Pee-wee, yeah. I was a Pee-wee cheerleader.
A Pee-wee cheerleader.
Yep.
Yeah, like in our
nice.
secondary schools in the US, there are levels of competition. You usually have like first year, like grade 9,
Right.
and then you'll have like a junior varsity and then a varsity. And it's sort of like the levels of football in the English Football League.
Ah, yes.
Really?
Yeah, it's exactly like that. The JV and varsity. Like,
I'm just
I
going to
don't
throw
know what
out,
your leagues are. I'm not
well,
gonna
I mean,
pretend
look,
to.
I'm just going to throw it out there right now that like my sports knowledge is pretty dire.
Okay, well,
even
that's the whole
though-
point of this.
Well, no, cool. I mean, well, just like all sports, really. Unless it was like, I don't know, something like really easy, like soccer. Well, you call it soccer.
Yeah, we call it soccer. But you guys made that up, you know.
Did we?
Yeah, because it was association football and rugby football was how it first
egg ball.
started. And then you made association into soccer.
Oh, egg ball. I call it egg ball.
You're completely ignoring the fact that you made that up and I'm the one who gets made fun of it for it. all the
I
time.
am
I mean,
the-
not you specifically.
Is there a fly in here?
This is a working bar, but
So you didn't play football in school.
No, I didn't play. Well, again, it was just another thing that you did in high school. When you had PE or physical education, you just like, you would go up and play football for like an hour or whatever the time was that you played it.
But not on a team.
Yeah, on a team, like, but
No, I mean, like, you didn't go to practice after school every day. And
I was made to go to football, but I was never good at it. They always stuck me in defense, but even then, I was a terrible defender.
okay.
I was really, really bad.
That's funny. We're going to talk about the differences between American and as we did with soccer and football.
Yeah, I was going to say, Gaz is talking about what we would say international football here, which is Americans would know as soccer.
Soccer, yeah. But also he said defense, and we would say defense.
Oh,
So there's
yeah.
little tiny
Unless you're
differences.
Troy Aikman commentating a game, he says defense quite
he
a
does
bit.
say defense,
And he uses
really
it as a
annoys
verb.
me.
They didn't defense that very well.
I think he really annoys me.
it's
'cause he
the
was
only
a
bad thing
cowboy.
Troy Aikman's ever done.
Yeah. We'll talk about that later.
Verb.
We're gonna go close.
Yeah, I was never good at sports. I don't think the idea of sports ever really appealed to me. But I think that's just because I was more of a creative. Because I was a creative.
Well, that was the beauty of marching band, was that I was still competing, but I was using.
I
my
think I
creative
probably
abilities.
would have ended up in some sort of a marching band or a cheerleader. I
You'd
would
be
have
a,
been.
you know what you would have
You
been?
can get
the
male
mascot.
cheerleaders.
We had mascots.
Oh my god, I would be totally the mascot.
You definitely.
Yes.
You and this guy. You and the fanatic. Best friends for life.
I do feel like the mascot is probably the greatest job you can have
I
in
always
the
wanted
world.
to be the mascot.
Because nobody knows who you are, and you put on a stupid costume and run around acting like an idiot.
Now, that being said, you've reminded me of a story of my time living in New York when I was poor, so working for a marketing firm. And I was Elmo for a day in Times Square. And oh my God, it was the hottest costume in the world. And number one rule was I was not allowed to smoke. And anybody who knows Jessie Riley knows she smokes a lot. And I could not stand for this rule. So I ducked into an alleyway, took the Elmo head off, lit a cigarette, and right at that second, a little kid stopped dead at the end of the alleyway. And I went, "Fuck out of here, kid." And the kid took off running.
You should have
and
said
I
it
have
in Elmo's
ruined-
voice.
No, the gruff cigarette voice came out. And it was perfect, but I've ruined Sesame Street for that kid. I'm sure. He's
I
Speaking
have
of
a
which-
terrified of
photo of a guy who was doing playing Mickey Mouse at the Eiffel Tower, doing the photos. I have a photo of him with the head off, holding it, smoking a cigarette behind a bush.
Elmo. Something
When I
tells
was
me it's
there.
more acceptable there than Times Square.
Also true, yes.
Now I want to hear your Elmo impression.
Oh no, I was in that giant head. I didn't have to do anything.
What, you didn't use the voice?
Like, you couldn't hear me through it. It was 2 feet thick.
I mean, for your own amusement.
She just had to collect the $5 per person to take a photo with him.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, then
exactly.
I'd like to hear an Elmo impersonation from you right now.
I'm not going to do that. Why
Oh,
don't
come
you do a football chant?
A football chant?
Yeah, an English football chant. You know
Right,
any?
okay, this is going to be really bad because, like, I only know one football chant.
And you have to bleep it?
No, it's not the fact that it's because. So I grew up in Manchester, right?
Okay.
My family are all Manchester United fans.
Mm.
I've been to some Manchester United games, and they were actually pretty cool. I watched the Manchester United game that just happened like last week, which was great. It was actually quite entertaining. But I never learned any of the songs. But recently, I did learn a chant or a song from. Damn it! What's Birmingham? Is it Aston Villa? No, is it Aston Villa? I forget. Yeah, Aston Villa, and it's the only football chant that I know. And
Okay.
I only
Let's hear
learned it for a
Come
film.
on, bring it up.
Oh, okay. Wait, I'm gonna have to get into character for this one
Okay,
because
great.
I learned it for a film and I had to do it in character and all that kind of stuff. I've forgotten it already. With Bernie and Danny, Adam McAnally, the boy's gonna do us fine. And if you sport the blues, you're a blue-nosed bastard. You ain't no friend of mine. All together now, my
All
old
right,
man.
all right. We get the point. We get
Yeah,
the
all
point.
right, okay.
My point in asking you to do that was the difference between American football chants and English football chants is that yours are so insulting. For instance, we actually in Philadelphia have stolen one of Millwall's sayings. Jason Kelsey used the saying for his speech, "No one likes us, we don't care."
Yeah.
I actually just listened to the Millwall one and it's equally as degrading, whereas ours became, "No one likes us, no one likes us, no one likes us, we don't care." So you see my point. Like,
I
yours
think-
are super aggressive and ours are kind of all in good fun.
Yours have a bit more of a melody to it. Like,
Yeah.
when you sang it there, and I felt like it's almost like an Irish drinking song. No one likes us, no one likes us, no one likes us, we don't care. We're from Philly, fucking
effing
Philly. No one likes us, we don't care.
You got a demerit. You said the F-bomb.
No, he was doing a quote. I don't think that counts.
That doesn't count?
No,
Okay.
he's quoting a lyric. And it doesn't count.
Does that mean I don't get a prize?
No, you don't. You don't get a prize, but you don't get a demerit.
Yeah. Okay, I can live with that. I'll just have to replace
So
some
obviously
more.
you've become really into Philly sports based on the stack of hats on your head since you started working for Passyunk. So what would you say is your favorite Philly sports moment since we opened?
Ooh, definitely when Boston Scott fucking burst on the scene. I just swore again. There you go. Another demerit. Oh,
Demerit.
well, I don't mind. I don't care. I'm from
Boston's-
Manchester. I swear a lot. I swear.
So you like Boston Scott? I remember how much you loved
I
him.
loved Boston Scott. In fact, I do remember we were down here actually in the Nick Foles bar. I can't remember what season it was. I think it was when we still had Carson Wentz as our quarterback. But I was drunk as shite. Because I was drinking, we had that beer on from Sam Brooks, which was like 6.5%.
Yeah, I remember.
That Alex Pugh could pound like no human being I've ever seen before.
I've never seen a person
And
drink
it doesn't
like that
even
woman.
look like it would even make her sweat. She's like Legolas in the Lord of the Rings. I feel a tingle in my little finger.
She takes
And
the
then
SATs and
yeah.
gets like the
And
highest
I'm
score
like,
possible.
I'm like
while drunk.
friggin' Gimli, just going, blah, Boston Scott. Blah, 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 blah. But I do remember that moment where Boston Scott like just sort of went and just burst through everyone.
We
And
used to
I
call him
just,
Sonic the Hedgehog, remember?
yeah, yeah, it was so amazing. And I just remember falling to the floor in a high pitched scream, just going, "Ah, who is this man?
Yeah, that
I want him."
for the record, I was here. That didn't happen.
I remember lying on the floor, just being like, "Oh wow, this guy's amazing.
That was when
I
you
just
got
want to
home.
pick him up and put him in my pocket."
You probably could have.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, he's probably way taller than both of us, but
Mm.
standing next to,
Yeah.
say, Jason Kelsey,
Yeah.
he looked tiny.
I would say so, definitely. Yeah.
My favorite Philly sports moment is A, not actually a sports moment, and B, didn't happen while we worked here. It was when Allen Iverson gave that press conference when he missed practice. Talking about practice, not a game, practice. Just the attitude involved, the arrogance involved, but deserved. I love that moment.
Was that because he didn't like practice, or he just didn't give a?
I'm not sure what the reason was that he didn't show up. Watch the press conference when you get a second.
So
You
he
guys
mi-
too. Watch that press
It was
conference.
classic.
if you
I
haven't
feel
seen
like
it.
I've seen that. I'm not gonna lie.
It's really
Yeah.
funny.
So he missed the practice, and everybody was like, "Oh my god!"
They were on him about it because he's a professional athlete. He
Yeah.
should show up to practice.
Yeah.
But his attitude coming back was just so AI. I loved it.
I
Well, that being said, he stepped over a guy instead of helping him up. Do you remember that moment?
no, I haven't seen enough NBA moments, and I kind of wish that I do need to get into more. Of that
Basically,
kind of
Allen Iverson knocked somebody down. I don't know if it was an actual foul or not, but he knocked him down. And instead of being courteous and helping the guy up, he literally just stepped over the guy and kept playing the game. So my two favorite Philly sports moments are not actually very sportsmanly.
stuff. Right.
This year, I would have to say the thing that sticks out in my head is when Dallas Goedert pushed back like 5 times when he was running into the end zone and just kept mushing the guy in the face.
I
think
love
there's
how
actually
you're
a
referencing
t-shirt.
these like non-sporting moments as like
That was
moments.
actually a sporting moment. He was
Yeah.
going in for
Just
the
him pushing
touchdown.
people
He,
over.
he was going in for a touchdown holding the ball. He just kept mushing the guy that
Well,
was
in which
defending him.
case, there was also that game, I think it was 2 years ago, where the Eagles were losing. And I can't remember what play it was, but someone went to snap the ball, and our defender went through the guy's legs to try and catch the ball so that it could be the interception.
Nice. How about Saquon's backwards jump?
That was pretty cool. Very memorable.
Yeah.
But the most memorable for me is the pick six. Cooper DeJean.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to
Well,
say
do you not
that.
remember the Super Bowl party that we threw?
Of course
and
I do.
the noise that came from that tunnel?
I've told you before, it was seismic. You could feel that on the Richter scale when
You know those-
everybody jumped
Those
at
two
that pick
guys
six
that were
moment.
like that are in space, that got lost in space.
Yeah.
I bet they heard it. And
They
were
definitely
and They
did.
just went, "Oh,
Oh, Philly's winning.
Philly's winning. Cool. That's pretty cool. Too bad we're up here
So
with no oxygen."
now we're talking about that. I'm starting to have palpitations here thinking about when the Phillies played at the Eagles played at Wembley. Do you remember?
Yes, I do.
Right when we
and-
first opened.
Yes, I do, and I
We-
think that's the first time I ever felt like I should go to therapy.
I still feel like I should go to therapy.
I should have been going to therapy years ago, to be honest.
Not just because of that.
Not just because of that. Although, like, I didn't really help myself on that Phillies weekend because it was planned, maybe 6 months in advance.
The Eagles weekend, you mean?
Yeah, the Eagle. That's
The
what we're talking
Wembley.
about, right?
Yeah, we're talking about
We're talking
Wembley.
about that.
We'll get
Yeah.
to the Phillies
Just
weekend.
after, the Phillies weekend was a completely different kettle
Go
of
back to
fish.
Wembley.
Yeah, but the Wembley thing, I do remember it was a 6-month plan. We knew that it was going to get absolutely ramo, and we only had one site open. This one. This one, which holds about how many people?
80
80 people.
Yeah.
How many people ended up coming?
total.
Yeah, throughout the
Well,
3 or 4
20,000
days.
Philadelphia fans
Yeah.
came to London
Yeah,
to
that
watch that game.
It was pretty
To
wild.
put that in perspective, Wembley Stadium is usually 10% foreign fans for a foreign game. 40% of the stadium was Philadelphia, and all of them came here over a 7-day period.
I heard they just got straight off the plane and just came straight here.
I was hearing about them chanting on the plane and then coming straight
Why?
here.
What were they chanting on the plane?
Like Eagles chants. Like Fly, Eagles, Fly was happening in Heathrow.
They should have painted the plane to look like a giant eagle.
They should have, you're right. That
Just
would have
like,
been a lot cooler, guys.
Yeah.
How
Next
very
time.
meta. A
Next
plane
time.
painted like an eagle.
Yeah,
Both fly.
exactly. It's
Why has
perfect.
no one thought of doing
They
that?
should have done that long
Exactly.
ago.
Why is no one paying me for these cool ideas? If I was in charge of if I was the airline commissioner of all airlines in the world, the emperor of airlines,
The
I would
Emperor of Airlines?
emperor of airlines, I'm pretty sure that's like a job description. I'll have to look it up on
I'm
LinkedIn.
pretty sure. I was going to talk about Philly superstitions and like the way that we get really insane about our sports in Philadelphia. And well, you know mine. I have to stick my head in the dryer
Yes.
whenever the Eagles are losing.
Yes, I know about that. Is it just a dryer though? Because I asked you to stick your head into a dishwasher.
Well, this is the thing. Originally, it was a dryer. Back in the day when Brindamore was on the Flyers, they were losing 2-0, and I decided to go do my laundry. So while I'm doing my laundry, Brindamore gets a hat trick, and the Flyers win. So the tradition in my household now, my mother told me to go stick my head in the dryer anytime that the Eagles were losing. So I brought the tradition here with me to Passyunk, working behind the bar during an Eagles game. But of course, we don't have a dryer. So I started using the dishwasher, and it works. I stick my head in the dishwasher, and the Eagles will score.
I think the only superstition that I took on, and it wasn't really a superstition, it's just because I'm really lazy, is that the jersey that I'm wearing right now, Brian Westbrook, I started
my
wearing.
favorite.
Yeah, I started wearing this running back. I love my running backs. I started wearing this. The Eagles were winning, and it was also from that point on that I realized that if I wash this jersey, it will all come undone.
Have you washed
No.
it since?
I've never washed this jersey.
Great.
I've had it for about 3 years.
Bringing me back to that green.
There are
man.
actually food stains on it. I'll point them out. If
No,
like,
please
I don't want to
don't.
lean
No,
my head
it's
too
cool.
far forward in case all these hats fall off my head.
You brought me back to you wearing the green man for an entire season because we kept winning.
Yeah, the green man. Oh man, that green man outfit. I'm telling you right now, it's not the most flattering of outfits because it really does show all the curves and
Really
bumps.
does.
It really does. Yeah, I saw a picture where it looked like.
You might as well just start
I saw a
bleeping
picture
right now.
where the
No.
Press
sun was
bleep.
bouncing off a certain part of my body, and it was just like, "Whoa, that looks really tiny." And I was like, "But it isn't."
I would have never been so happy as when for the Eagles to lose a game as when they lost that game and you never wore that freaking green man costume ever again.
Well, it was covered in pee and puke by the end of it, so I had to throw it away.
It survived that tailgate party from the Wembley when
Wow.
they showed
That was
up
the
at
last time I
Wembley.
wore it. Yeah, I actually threw that one away.
I
I
have
could have kept
never
it.
been so happy.
Well, you guys mentioned the Green Man. You mentioned the Super Bowl party we did at the Arches here this year. The one in Battersea also was pretty good, and we had 2 of the guests there dressed in Green Man suits as
There
well.
you
Yes,
go.
you
See,
did. I
it's
do
a
remember
thing.
Yes, we
seeing
do.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah. Did they stay in it all night?
they did. Once the game started, they put those on and stayed in them. And
Good for them.
They had asked me before. I gave them some advice as far as having worn certain things and for certain videos before that maybe investing in a very inexpensive dance belt would have been a good idea.
Dance belt.
They did not.
Were they
take my
full
advice on
green
that.
man, like head to toe, or were
They
they
were
wearing
full
clothes
Green
over there?
Man with the hood and everything.
Yeah, they
Yes.
what did they did they wear clothes over the Green Man? Outfit?
Initially, but once the game started, they took it
No
off.
holds
They were,
barred.
they were
Off.
full Green Man. Yes.
Yeah, you see what I mean? Like you can. It's a good way to go streaking without actually, streaking.
Yeah.
But like I said,
It's also
if you stand in the wrong shadow, then that's it. Game
also
over.
a good way to stink up the joint when you wear it for a whole season.
Yeah, I mean, that Green Man outfit I'd had for a few years. The first time I wore it was obviously
A friend's going away
Yeah,
party
friend's
just
going
to
away
make him
party.
just to make him
Yeah.
laugh too.
Yeah,
You
that
didn't
was
know
it.
it had
It was,
significance in your
literally it. And I looked pretty. Although I noticed that I had a very odd shaped head. I do. Like I looked at it because I always thought, what would I look like if I was bald? And I don't know.
Now you know.
You'll only see this if you're watching it. If you're a peeper, because the ones that are watching are peepers. Hi,
We
peepers.
never agreed to the peeper thing.
Well, we're saying, well, you're a peeper now because you get to see this majesty that sits right in front of you here. But if you're not a peeper and you're just a Yunk listener, then that's cool. But yeah, I did notice I had a very odd shaped head.
So you were just noticing all your own shapes every time you wore
Oh,
it.
of course you do. You know what I mean? You got to notice these shapes and then just be like, it's going, that's an odd curve. To
So you
have
said,
at that point.
when you said you went to a Manchester game, did you watch it live or did you go to the game?
Right, this is a pretty cool story, right? So my dad's huge United fan, and when I was younger, when I was a kid, he used to take us to games before the Glazers bought him out. If you know about that whole story, some big American bigwig came in and bought the club, and it just caused uproar with all the fans because he was charging too much. But it was terrible. It was just like, what? No, we can't do this. Anyway,
Taking the club in the right direction, though, I hear. The Glazers.
Fuck you.
Do not bleep that one.
I don't think he exists anymore, to be honest.
Who's that?
The guy that bought the club. That's me saying in a very polite way that he might be dead.
Oh my God.
A real don't look behind the curtain situation.
Yeah. I don't know. But anyway,
Did you go to the game?
I did go to the game. It was very exciting, but like, again, going to a football game like that is pretty wild. Like, it's loud. Well, especially when I went, like, it might be a lot different these days. I haven't been to a game in a long time. But it's loud. It's very passionate.
Well,
it's very territorial.
Every game
they separate the fans. Like on this side of the stadium, it's United fans, and then it's home fans, away fans. Like they have to separate them.
They have to because you guys beat the Shiite out of each other every time something happens good for one of the teams or the other.
Well, yeah, I think it's just.
I feel like English fans are very violent. Is that just a stereotype?
No,
or?
I don't.
No.
I don't think. But I think I don't think they're violent. I think it's just because because the passion. It's like going. I can't really find the correct words to put this.
Well, what I was asking was, did you have a good time, even not being a football fan, when you went to the game?
I did, but not because I went to the football game. So afterwards, we would all line up outside of the gates to try and catch the players coming out so we could get autographs and stuff.
Did you
right?
say Beckham?
Well, I'll get to that. Beckham was really young at this time. He was just starting in the club, like old school Beckham. This is when we still had players like Eric Cantona. If anyone knows who Eric Cantona is, he was the king. When he came to Manchester United, he just he was incredible player, very big personality, very strange, weird personality. He was entertaining off the pitch as he was on the pitch.
So he'd be friends with us if he was weird.
Exactly. So we were all waiting outside the gate, and all the cars would come in, they go into the gate, they pick up the players, and then they'd bugger off. We were all standing there, and it was a little bit crowded, and it was a little bit wild, and these cars are trying to come in, and it's literally like what you see in like those zombie films, like, oh, you know what I mean, all that kind of stuff. We want to see the players, and then if you see them through a gap, you're just like, sign my ball or whatever, or my hat or some shit like that. And like, I was standing there, I didn't really know what was going on, and then all of a sudden, I just heard someone scream at the top of their lungs next to me, and it was my big brother, right? My older brother, Scott, who unfortunately had sort of been pushed a little bit too far towards the car, and the car that was driving in drove over his foot.
Oh my God.
And he didn't just drive over it. The guy stopped, and the car was on his foot.
Oh no.
God.
For a good, I don't know, what seemed like 2 minutes, but I just remember my brother going, as you would when a car drives over your
I
foot.
thought you were going to say it was over Beckham.
No. But we did find out that the car that the driver was coming to pick up was for another player. I'm not sure if I should say it. Will I get into trouble? Maybe. Who cares? Are you listening? Maybe not. Lee Sharp. Anyway, this car was there, and it was like, and then like the whole world stopped, and then my dad came sweeping in, and he was just like, get off. And then we managed to get the car off, and then because my brother's foot was pretty much broken, everyone came rushing out, the medics came rushing out, they picked him up, and they took him inside. So, me being a little brother, I was just like, I'm going to go with my big brother and see what's going on in here. So we got taken inside, gates got closed, blah, blah, blah. And there was just a little bit of chaos about what was happening. My brother was getting fixed up and all that kind of stuff. We were in this little dressing room. And then my brother's sitting there just going like, he's in tears. He's only young, like, and then he's just like, and then all of a sudden he just goes, Everything stops. The pain goes away. He looks towards the door. I turn around and standing there is Eric Cantona,
Wow.
his hero. You know what I mean? And all the players came through and we got to meet every single one of them. Young David Beckham. I think Paul Scholes was still on the team.
That's cool.
Like, this was like classic Man United, like, you know, the team from back in the day when they won the treble and stuff like that. That's another great time of watching football, actually, when I've never been into it, when United won the treble. But yeah, that was a pretty crazy day because just seeing my brother just go from
That's
like,
insane.
my foot is in lots of pain. Oh my God, it's Eric Cantona. My foot is all better.
That's great.
Sign my entire being, please. But he was such a cool dude. And I met him again since. He's such a
That's nice.
such a dude. But that's
The reason I asked is because going to live sport is always way more fun than watching it on TV. Like, I don't care about baseball. I'll be completely honest. 163 or whatever games a season, way too many for me. But if you took me to a baseball game, I'd be totally into it. Give me the beer, give me the hot dog. I love the experience. In fact, Sam, my husband, is a cameraman for live sport. He brought me to a T20 match, T20 cricket.
What?
Like, shortened version of cricket. So
Really?
it doesn't go on for days like the Ashes would. It's like an afternoon. Trying to get younger people into cricket. I had no idea what was going on in the game. I was sat next to a father and his 8-year-old son with a space between us, and he was explaining it in 8-year-old manner to the kid, and I just kept getting closer and closer. Finally, I was like, can I just move over and sit with you guys? I need an 8-year-old's explanation of cricket. Bought the dad a beer, bought the kid a cookie. He explained cricket, and I had a great time. So going to a live match is always way more fun.
It is a lot of fun. I actually went to a cricket match up at
Like
the
a full-on Ashes
Yeah.
cricket.
Well, I think it was the women's Ashes or something like that. Do I need to talk faster?
No,
Faster,
the
maybe
problem
less.
is I have
Yeah.
this game that I have been saving for you.
Oh wait, no. Okay, cool. Yeah. Let's do that then. But I did go to a cricket match. It was awesome. Everyone was drinking. It was pretty wild at the end. And it was the women's Ashes. It was pretty fucking cool. And
Did England win?
I can't remember who won, but like they let you bring in your own beer, and I took in like several gins and tins
That's
and all that
insane.
kind of stuff. And no, it was great. Like,
That would never happen
It
in
started
America.
off. I thought it started off very just sort of like, yes, I have no idea what's going on, and then all of a sudden I was like, I just go, what? No, you can't do that. There was a bit of controversy with the game, but I can't remember what it was. But I had a great time. Cricket.
So, Gaz, since you're self-proclaimed not that knowledgeable in sport, I thought it would be fun.
I prefer the term dumb.
By the way, we didn't even touch on, over here they say sport. We
Sport.
say sports.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, we say sports,
Oh,
plural. You
I
guys
say
say
sports.
sport.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't.
Anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to play you a sound effect,
Oh, God.
and you're going to tell me,
what ball it is.
yeah, what sport it's from.
Really?
Sport.
Yeah.
Are you
Yes.
kidding me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, right.
You
Here
ready?
we go. This is where I get my
Okay,
passport
so
revoked. My British citizenship
here's the
is in
first one.
dire. Squash. No.
Nope.
Tennis.
Want it again?
No. Yeah.
Okay. It's a basketball, you
How are
fool.
you not getting
That doesn't sound. That sounded like
How
a
are you
squash
not
ball
getting
getting hit against.
it?
It's
Okay,
just
ready?
like, okay, I guess what could be a dead giveaway is the squeaky trainers thing at
That
the end.
always gives
Yeah,
it
but
away.
I literally thought of squash. You know,
Okay,
not
ready?
squash.
Here.
You know where they hit against
I got
the,
another
the
one
wall?
for you. I got
All
another
right.
one.
They're
You
playing
ready?
0 for
against
1
nobody?
so far, Gaz.
Oh God, here we go.
0 for 1. Ready? What is it?
That's all I get.
Yeah,
That's it.
that's a noise from a very popular sport.
That is indeed.
Were we just talking about it? Cricket.
Yeah.
Yay!
Wow, nice.
I am the smartest man alive.
Okay, this is my favorite one of the
Okay.
bunch. Ready?
That doesn't sound like. Well, it sounds like a sport,
It is
but
a
I can't
sport.
say it out loud. Oh, it's the guy on the Rocky bag thing.
Yeah,
The ball Rocky bag
that one.
thing.
Well done.
2 for 3,
Boxing.
Gaz.
2
Good
for
job
3,
so far.
2 for
Oh
3.
man, I am so.
Great
Okay,
job
I
so
got
far.
another one. You ready?
Yeah. Do it again.
One more time.
Tennis?
Nope.
No. Ping pong?
Nope.
What the? Can you?
It's American.
American. Oh, do it again.
It's a baseball, bro.
That's not a baseball.
100%.
Okay, I wouldn't have known that. I've never actually heard the sound of a baseball connecting to.
Okay, so what are we? 3 out of 4.
2 for 4, right?
2 for 4.
Yep.
2 for 4.
Am I doing well? What do I? By the way, what do I get if I?
Well, take
do I
one of
get
your
something?
demerits
If
away
you
for using
lose-
foul language.
If you lose,
I'm going to lose my British citizenship.
If you lose, I get to slap all those hats off your head. Ready?
Okay.
This is the last one. You got to figure out what this one is.
Okay.
This is a sport. Nothing? You got nothing?
Oh, it's the buzzer sound is it bowling?
No.
God
I'm
damn
gonna
it!
leave right now if you don't.
Oh
get it.
come on! What is it? What is it?
I'm surprised you know.
I don't know. There's a lot of crowd noise in here. That guy sounds really drunk.
Okay, that's a good start.
I don't know, is it sheep shearing or something like that?
Close.
Oh!
Surprisingly
Oh!
close.
Sheep shearing, goat shearing, horse paddy whacking.
That there was a rodeo.
Get the F out of here.
That was a rodeo, and that was an announcer.
Did you
urging-
know? You didn't guess that.
No, I did a little bit.
A rodeo.
You thought it was sheep shearing, didn't you?
I thought it was boxing because I heard the word Rocky and I was like, oh, I know what.
No,
this
but I
is.
said boxing earlier. That
No,
was a
that was an
rodeo.
announcer
That was a rodeo.
urging the
Do you know
bull
what?
rider
If you
to
had
stay
done a
on for 8
sound of
seconds.
like someone getting bucked off a ball and
What
just going,
does that sound like? That.
well, if you had someone just go like, "Ah!" and then a clown comes in, just go like, and all that kind of stuff, then I
All right,
probably
to be
would have got
fair,
it.
I think we give him a half point here.
We'll give him a half
Because in
point.
American rodeos, they will bring a feature of American rodeos is bringing children out as young as like 4-year-old toddlers, and they will put them on sheep. And it's
So you get a
called
half a point.
it's
Okay,
called
I got
mutton
half a
busting.
point.
So it's the first thing that a child would do
Honest-
on his or her way
So
to
in which
becoming
case,
a bull rider.
I'm only going to slap one hat off his head.
Perfect.
Do I get
And-
anything else?
No, that's it.
Oh, okay.
I'll give you a hug later.
Oh, okay. Right. To the Yunk Life.
So the Yunk Life.
Here's to me not knowing anything about sports.
Neither of us know anything about sports, but they can come to the restaurants and watch sports.
Yes, if you like sports. Oh, by the way, we should probably plug the facts that we're going to be doing a big July 4th celebration soon, right?
We are going to do a huge July 4th episode. That's going to happen.
Not just an episode, but like we're going to be doing like a big party across all the venues and stuff like that. Lots of food, lots of sports.
And I get to talk about history.
Yes.
It's so
wait
exciting.
until I can't wait for that episode because again, history is not something that I know apart from my own. My history
Ooh,
is
can we
my
play
own.
another game where I get to slap a hat off your head?
You can play as many games with me as you want because it's clearly quite entertaining.
It really is.
I can't believe how stupid I am.
To the Yunk Life.
To the Yunk Life. Thank you to our producer.
See you next time, producer Stub. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks for listening to our nonsense. Live that Yunk Life, baby.
Pod, it's that Yunk Life pod. It's that Yunk Life pod. That Yunk Life pod. That Yunk Life pod. That Yunk Life pod. Living that Yunk Life, baby.
Perfect.